If there's one thing I will always do, it's find the books to read. Back home and we have books. Oh my God, I had the most amazing weekend. So we went to a women's conference with my church. I went with my mom, my sister, and one of my best friends, and we had so much fun. And it was very hard because we were actually doing like a corporate fast. We're doing the Daniel fast as a church. So it was very, very hard to be around cheesecake and meat and sweets and all the things, and we were not allowed to partake in them, but it was okay. We all were able to abide and stand strong against temptation, and I love that for us. It was just such a blessed time. I was able to get my spiritual cup filled.
When you need a sister who is in your life who says, come on over here, just sit next to me. I'm going to pray with you and for you. I'm going to cover you. I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to help to give you a bit of what you might not have on your own in this season.
We were able to lay hands on each other and just bless each other. It was just such a beautiful time, and I am so glad that I had that time. And I have missed you guys. I'm so excited to just talk about some books. Of course, no matter where I am, I'm going to find a bookstore. And so I do have new books. I also wanted to just show you guys the books that I got from previous video because, child, let's address the elephant in the room. If this is your first time here, hey, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Joyce. Welcome to the fun. If you have been here for a while, you already know I've taken at least, I think, my analytics say like 40 days off. That's crazy. And actually nothing happened. I was just listening to my body, taking a much needed break. My husband, at first I felt so guilty about it, but he reminded me like, you know what, Joyce, nothing is on TV every day except the news. And even anchors take breaks. They take vacation. Every TV show that we watch, there are times where they're not recording. They take seasons off, you know what I mean? And so I was just like, you know what? That is such a good way to look at this. It is okay to take a few weeks off, to take a season off, and just enjoy life and enjoy your hobbies, which for me is always reading. So anyway, these are the two new books that I got. The first one is Sally Rooney's new book. What is it? Intermezzo, I believe. I have no idea what it's about. It's by Sally Rooney, so I just want to read it. It says that it is an exquisitely moving story about grief, love, and family, but especially love from the global phenomenon, Sally Rooney. And I know it's going to be about two brothers basically navigating grief. And it says, for two grieving brothers and the people they love, this is a new interlude, a period of desire, despair, and possibility, a chance to find out how much one life might hold inside itself without breaking. I cannot wait to get up in this. If I don't read it in October, which I hope I do, I will read it in November. Oh, and you know, I just noticed with the book next to me, I forgot this is your guys' first time seeing my hair. So yes, I look like a pumpkin spice latte. So the ginger hair is back. Okay, so then the next book is called Colored Television and is by Danzy Senna. I believe that's how you say her last name. Love this book cover. I don't really remember what this book was about. I just remember hearing about it before it came out and I was like, sounds good. But what really sold me is the blurb by Miranda July. She is the author of All Fours and I love that book. I do believe that's one of the best books that I've read so far this year. And she said, I couldn't stop turning the pages, and only when it was all over did I realize what Senna had done. Addictive, hilarious, and relatable. Yes, but Colored Television is after something larger and more elusive, a very modern reckoning with the ambiguities triangulated by race, class, creativity, and love. She nails it. So yes, I'm very excited to read this. This is one of those TBR items. It's like if I get to it, great. If I don't, it's not the end of the world, but it is a book that I want to read. So these are the other three books that I got in the last vlog that we were in together. If this is not your first time here, and I said come back later and we'll see what books I got. And then I just got tired. I got tired and I also got sad. For those of you who have been here for a while, you know that my grandmother did transition, and so I just felt like I needed some bereavement time. I needed some time to grieve and just be and just really sit with that. I'm still processing that. She fought so hard and this is not the outcome that she wanted. And so yeah, it's just hard sometimes. And then it's so weird. Today I am recording. It is Monday, October 14th. Today is my father's 8th year death anniversary. So it can just be a lot sometimes. But fall is my jam. I haven't been just like sitting up crying and sad every day. It's actually been a season of healing and rest. And I've been running and training for a marathon. And so Yes, I am just glad to be back in front of the camera. I have missed you guys, but I didn't want to get back in front of the camera until I was ready to be consistent. So there's that. This book I do want to read. I actually want to read this book before the end of the month. This is like a must read. These two, I have to read them in the month of October. The Reformatory, I've heard nothing but good things about this book. I don't even know everything it's about. I just heard that it's really, really good. I know it's by a Black author. S.A. Cosby left a blurb, and I know it's something about a young boy who ends up being sentenced to 6 months in like a reformatory because he was basically standing up for his sister. Definitely want to get into this one. It just feels like, and it looks like, the type of book I should be reading in October. The next one is actually going to be my first Stephen King. I have never read a Stephen King book. Last year, I read my first James Patterson. It's only right to read a Stephen King in the month of October. And this one is Holly. I don't know what this one is about either. When I went shopping that day, there was like a 50% off hardcover books. So I think this book was like $13 or $15. So I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can tackle a Stephen King. So I don't know what it's about. I just know that Holly is a character that he's had in other books, and she's back to look into multiple disappearance in a Midwestern town, which is kind of creepy because I live in the Midwest. The other book that I got that day was The Most by Jessica Anthony. This little tiny little powerful book was good. I know Goodreads says differently, and I'm different. I always tell people that like my reading taste is just, it's very unique to me, okay? There are certain books that I do like that other people like, but then there are just other books that like, I'm pretty sure I'm like the only one that liked it. And I feel like this was one of those books. Basically, this mother, she lets her family go to church that day and she stays home and she basically stays in the pool. It basically takes place over 8 hours, which seems weird, but it flashes back to a lot of secrets and lies that both the husband and wife have with each other. I wasn't the biggest fan of, what is his name? Virgil. I was not the biggest fan of Virgil's dad. He's a bit of a meddler. I really didn't like all the war stuff talked about in the book, but I'm sure someone else absolutely loved it. I didn't really connect with it. I really connected with the main character, Kathleen, and that she had some goals and ambitions that were just such a priority for her back in college. And then once she became a wife and a mom, they weren't anymore. She had a lot of secrets and she was moving a way that was quite interesting to read about. And I was just like, this lady, I don't know if they're gonna get through this. But it was really cool because he had a lot going on too. Like basically they both were having like extramarital affairs. It was outrageous, but neither one of them like knew. Anyway, they get to the point by the end of the book where there's something that they say, and I can't remember what it is, but they finally decide that they're just going to be completely honest with each other. And that's basically the moment where she decides, I'm gonna get out this pool. So I guess that's why she stayed in the pool, because she was like, once I come out of this pool, I'm gonna have to be honest with my husband. I'm gonna have to be truthful with him. And basically after today, I will know the trajectory of our marriage. And it's like, okay, either we're gonna move forward or we're not. And so it was just really cool to navigate this weird little story with them. But it was one of those books that like I read and I had a good time with it. So that is our little stack of newbies that we have here. I'm trying to think, do I want to make this into a reading vlog? I don't know. We'll find out together in the next clip. I decided to do a reading vlog because it's only right. The people and me need to do a reading vlog. I need to read the books on the physical TBR, so it's a win-win for all of us. So we will be reading A Flicker in the Dark. This is actually my intro to this author, Stacey Wellingham, and I've heard very mixed reviews about this book. The people that love it, they love it. They like hype it up and they say it's so good and stuff. But then there's a lot of people that don't like it and they said it's just not a good book. And I can already say I am about 60 pages in and I like it. I can't say that I love it and that I'm gonna highly recommend it, but I do like it. First impression, this is not a fast-paced thriller. If you like fast-paced thrillers, you will not enjoy this book. This is not fast at all. It's actually very slow. It's a lot of character building. So if you don't like books with a lot of character building, especially a suspense thriller, you won't like this book. We are really just getting to know the female main character, Chloe, and how she is navigating the aftermath of what happened 20 years prior. So a synopsis of the book, our FMC, the female main character, Chloe Davis, around the time that she was 12, there were a lot of girls going missing. By the end of the summer, her father yes, you heard me right, her father ends up confessing to these murders, these missing girls. He's obviously sentenced to life in prison. So this is humiliating, this is embarrassing, this is extremely traumatic for Chloe. So we fast forward 20 years later, and it says that now she's a psychologist and she's also engaged to be married. So she's preparing for a wedding. She does have a brother, and her brother are dealing with the PTSD and the trauma that comes along with experiencing something like they did. And just when she thinks she finally has a handle on things, a new girl has gone missing. So I finally just got to the part where she is watching the news. She sees that a girl has gone missing. So it's just one at this time, but from the back of the book, we know that I think it might end up being more than one. And then she's concerned, are there parallels here, or am I just being paranoid, or what? And so yeah, that's pretty much where we're at in the book. Like I said, at first impression, I like it. It's a lot of inner monologue. This is definitely listed as a psychological thriller, so I understand why we're in her mind a lot, especially she's a psychologist. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna lean a lot more towards like the contemporary psychology side of things, more so than like the suspense thriller side. But I'm only 60 pages in, so I really don't know. Hey, so I am about 180 pages into A Flicker in the Dark, and I'm not feeling it. I'm just kidding. Hold up. So what I will say is I understand why people don't like it. At this point, I feel like maybe 15 pages ago, it's finally getting to a point where it feels like, okay, this is good and I want to keep reading. But between our last check-in at 60 pages and up to about 150, 160 pages, it's not all that compelling to me. What I will say is that it is very eerie. As the reader, we're just waiting for something to happen in the now. It is a lot going on of what happened in the past. And I do think that the author is doing a good job of toggling back and forth. We get to find out what happened in the past when her father was convicted of like abducting these girls and, you know, I guess killing them or whatever. It doesn't really say, they're presumed dead, but remnants of the girls were found. So, but then yeah, the chapters going on now, they're interesting, but there's nothing, like I said, compelling enough to keep you overly engaged. I feel like when we flash back, I do enjoy those chapters more. There's bodies being found, there's someone being convicted. I feel like we just got to the point where the girls that are missing now, they're starting to make me feel a little bit more engaged and interested to keep on reading. But I definitely understand why some people did not like the book. I mean, for me to be almost 200 pages in, I should be just like in love with this, and I'm not. I'm reading it. Like, it's okay. It's a nice time. Like, at this point, if I had to rate it, I would give it a 3-star. But we will see what happens. I do have my eye on 2 individual suspects as to who I think is doing the killings now in like the present day. And I think how the story is being told is cool. Like, it's a lot of good things going on in the book. It's just not a lot happening, you know? And I feel like when we read thrillers, well, when I read thrillers, I just want a little bit more than what this book is giving me. So that's the update. I am treating myself to some decaf coffee, and I know you probably are like, what's going on with your eyes? Where's your mascara? Or maybe you didn't notice, but my birthday is actually in 2 days, and I wanted to treat myself to some lash extensions. I have so much anxiety about this. I just feel like, how am I gonna lay there for 2 hours with my eyelids taped shut? This sounds like a procedure. It doesn't sound all that glamorous, but I have had lash extensions before and they're very pretty. So hopefully they turn out nicely. And look at my plant in the video with us. So my grandmother was actually a green thumb. I am not. I am more like a brown or black thumb. I don't like plants. I don't keep them alive. I've tried. It's just not my thing. But one day I was missing her so much and I was like, you know what? I want to become a green thumb. So right now I feel like I'm a yellow thumb. And so I bought this plant and look at it. It's thriving. Oh my God. I feel like my grandma would be so proud of me. But anyway, let me know in the comments, child, if you've read A Flicker in the Dark. I wouldn't say that I'm to the point where I want to DNF. I will say that, so that's a good thing. But I probably could DNF and somebody could just spoil it for me. I am interested enough to see how this is all going to play out. I do really want to know who the current killer is. I want to see if I'm right, because I feel like it's someone that knows our main character, Chloe. So, gotta keep reading and see.
I do meditation, walks in the woods, a new destination. I sit with my feelings. Sometimes I'm even
She cute, she cute, she cute. Y'all like my lashes? Oh, it took about 2 hours. I did fall asleep. It was fine. And I was like listening to this book. They had it available on Libby. So I was like, perfect timing. I did get to listen for 2 hours and then I was like, okay, it's starting to finally get good. So let me get back to my physical copy so that I can zoom through this thing. And now I am on page 314. And let's just say, I guessed correctly. I knew it was gonna be this particular individual. I freaking knew it. However, it's still quite a few pages left and it doesn't feel finished. This book did not need to be this long. It does not need to be this thick. It's still giving me like 3-star. Lily made it back. Oh, I know you guys have missed us. But yeah, it's only about 40 pages left, so I'm pretty sure I will knock this out tonight, and then I will give you guys my final thoughts. Good morning. It's my birthday. I'm cute. Okay. In other news, I finished A Flicker in the Dark, and I have some thoughts. Those are the thoughts. Just kidding, but in all seriousness, I could have gone my entire life without reading this book. Not even kidding. I did guess the twist, and I am like one of those people that never really guess the twist. And I'm not like, oh, so disappointed, like, oh, I found the twist, so it wasn't good. That's not it. It just wasn't enough happening. This was such a long book for no reason. This book did not need to be this long. It's extremely slow. For me, it was extremely predictable. The way that this book has been drug out, I just feel like there's going to be another twist at the end, and there was. The very first person I thought committed the murders is exactly who committed the murder. So I love that for me. I'm like, okay, I see me starting to guess the twist and stuff. I'm picking up on the clues, so I absolutely love that. She's not a bad storyteller, but I never have to read another book by her again if this is how her books are going to be told. I grew very tiresome of hanging out and reading about Chloe. For a while there, I understood that it was more important to explore like the psychological aspects and the PTSD aspects, but after a while, it just wasn't enough happening to keep me overly invested. And to be fair, there were things happening. I guess it was just because I predicted those things. It didn't give me that wow factor that I was looking for. I'm just glad that I read another book off the physical TBR. The blurbs say exceptionally smart and entertaining. Do I agree with that? It was entertaining enough. Gripping? No. A smart edge of your seat story with plot twists you'll never see coming? Lies. This is a debut novel and it's giving debut novel, which is not a bad thing. I can't say that it was a bad book. In all fairness, this is a good solid 3-star book. Like not 3.25, not 3.5, just a solid 3. However, normally I don't share ratings, but this I am probably gonna give a 2 because I actually like my 3-star books and I would recommend them. I will not be talking about this book pretty much anymore, except for like maybe a wrap up. And I'm never going to recommend this book to anybody. I already have kind of just forgotten about Chloe and all the drama that came with the book. But it wasn't bad. I know it sounds like it was bad. It wasn't. It just wasn't my jam. And I think that's okay. But anyway, it is my birthday. I have to go to work and then I'm probably gonna go to dinner or something like that. Lashes are lashing. Hair is done. She is cute. So I hope that you guys enjoyed hanging out with me. And thank you so much for everybody that checked on me. There were so many DMs or even just comments under old videos. Thank you for the new people that came. Sorry for the people that left. They probably were like, oh, she's not gonna be posting anymore. But I am gonna be posting and I'm gonna be back consistent. Mikey, he's a senior. I cannot believe it. So we've actually been doing a lot of college visits and just, I don't know, I've just literally been enjoying life. So let me know what you guys are reading in the comment section below. Let me know if you read this book and what your thoughts were. I'm not judging if you loved it. Just know that, like I said, it's not bad. I can't say that it was a bad book. Thank you for checking on me. I am glad we're back and you guys have the most amazing week. Bye. Hello, lovey. Say hello. You don't need to slam the door, okay? Also, can you believe that I got myself a Stanley? Decaf coffee does nothing for you, but it tastes really good. I said that I would never buy a Stanley, and look at me, a Stanley girl. All my 2 stars are just okay. My 3 stars, I still actually like them. This one I just feel very indifferent about.
College visit number two. Central. We're massively late.
So bad. We don't
right.
know where
We don't know where we're going, but we're here. If we have to just tour around ourselves, we're more than
I
prepared.
think we came just in time for lunch.
Right.
That's all that matters.